Ready?
Yeah. Now it's blazing.
And it's Raph. He's the rapper. I'm the videographer. And welcome to this episode of the Cheatcoders. And this is going to be a feedback episode. I know we have a few weeks ago we've asked for feedback, and we always make you wait for a month.
It was actually a long time ago, man. I don't even remember. I think it was like a month ago, dude.
Yeah, and this is not going to be released in like a month.
In like 2 months.
So, sorry guys.
Sorry, it took a while to get to your feedback. Hope it doesn't put you off from providing more feedback in the future. But here we go.
Well, to be honest, I only got one person feedback.
Who was it?
It was LOC.
Nice. Shout out to hello.
So, are we going to go straight into it?
Might as well, dude. We're on limited time.
All
you
right.
got to go to work. Priorities.
Go to work. It's early in the morning. And, all right, let's do this. So, LOC.
Yeah.
First feedback of today is how your parents have viewed your aspirations over the years with music, education, jobs, etc. What's the advice they've given you growing up? That's one half of the question.
Beautiful. That's a good question. Yeah, okay.
So, no.
Should we just go that?
Just go there, and I'll put the other question.
So, how our parents have taken what we want to do and advice they've given.
Yeah, mainly for music.
For music.
And then you can talk about other things.
Do you want to go first?
You can go first.
All right, mate. No worries.
Ladies first.
Oh, okay.
Let's do it.
Right.
Let's do it.
Okay. Well, I was actually very fortunate because most parents, Asian parents for that, you know, they can be very strict. Like they obviously want the best for you. And old school mentality is like you finish high school, you go to uni, get into a good uni, get a good job from it, from what you study. I was kind of left field, dude. Like I wasn't very academic. I was pretty shit. I didn't get an N award for high school, but I was close. You know what I mean? Like I did not get good marks on my high school certificate.
Yeah.
So when I was sort of thinking, what am I gonna do? Like I think my parents were already like, nah, he's not gonna get to uni. TAFE at the minimum. Anyone can get into TAFE. But that's about the time we started music. So while I was doing music, funny story, I didn't actually show my parents I was doing music. It was all secret. Because even now I get weirded out. I don't like people hearing me record. It's like a self-confidence issue or whatever. But you know how my parents found out about rap? Yeah. I know you're very open. Your fucking studio was in the living room and your parents are here. Like we were all rapping and then your parents are in the other room and they can hear us with swearing.
Lounge room and I'll be like, hey guys, we're going to record now. So can you turn the volume down on the TV and just be silent for a bit, like about half an hour.
And then Rap's family is like in the living round and we're just like, yeah, round circle, bitch. Yo, check it, 2005.
My balls are itching.
Me and Ella
in the kitchen. All that shit.
And we're doing like 100 takes per song. We're trying to get it right. We like Rap when he does backups, is like, yeah, he's like standing up. You know?
Yeah, the backups are the funniest thing that my family would always tell me. Like when you do your, I don't know what it is. I think it's called backups. All we hear is like, itching, kitchen. Bitchin', stitching.
It's so awkward to watch.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I get so weirded out doing that. Like I need to be alone. But how my parents actually found out about me making music, because you know I leaked my shit. SoundClick, MySpace.
Was back
then, it wasn't even SoundClick. It was like, my shit was on LimeWire and all those downloading programs.
Okay. How do you do that? You just
I don't know.
Okay.
One day it was there. I was like, I searched my song. Like, holy shit, my shit's like actually getting pirated.
Yeah.
Pirated
did your parents find out through piracy?
No, well, they don't know how to work that shit.
Yeah,
they found out from like I was in Hurstville, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was in another part of Sydney where the people that listened to my music weren't from the same suburb. Like no one knew. It got to like I was dating. I had a girlfriend that was in Liverpool area, and then my cousin was there, and then that stuff leaked. Phillos, no Phillos, right? So I think a family friend told my auntie, it's like, oh yeah, your nephew apparently is really good. He's like, this is like a thing. Like he raps, and everyone, they was like, what? What do you mean? Nats? It's like, who's Nats? And then like that got to my auntie.
Well, obviously he's the Pinoy rapper.
The Pinoy rapper, you know what I'm saying? That got to my mom, and mom was like, what? So I remember, because I was very like, I was just very awkward, socially awkward, even at home. Yeah. One day my mom just approached me, it's like, do you rap? And I'm like, no. So I kept it a secret for so long till it obviously got too big of a deal because like we you know, for that especially, you're in high school and then you're getting attention from people you don't even know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So eventually I showed my mom, and she was like, "Holy shit, you're like, whoa, like golden goose kind of thing. We're gonna be rich." Not really. You know, fillers, they get like so like energetic about it. Ooh, galing, very good. Eventually now my whole family knows. I got a very big family. And, you know, for a while, I was like the talk of the town in terms of relatives and stuff. So that helped the ego boost a little bit.
Your family knew through a leak.
A leak? My shit got leaked? It got leaked. And that transition made it easy. Because my parents like, you know what? Do what you like to do.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to be happy studying, I don't know what the hell you do in TAFE, like business or accounting or something that I was so shit at school already. So that was my segue into like, I started looking into what can I actually do with this. And that's how I got into audio engineering. So I did that. My parents put me in a college, which I'm very thankful for. You know, like not many parents will just be like, just do it. Like, do what makes you happy. And I'd like to say I did make something a bit out of it. It didn't become my laneway into music, but it accompanied what I was doing at the time, kind of thing. So yeah, like I said, with how my mum mainly, my dad's very like, he doesn't talk too much. We don't communicate in that sense, but you can tell it's sort of like he's proud without showing it, kind of thing. But obviously my dad's the more reasonable one. My dad will be more like, I'm not gonna say anything, but like, really, like rap, you know, like that's the vibe I was getting. Yeah. But I knew he would never be like, don't do it, kind of thing. Whereas my mum, that's my dreamer attitude, the whole like entrepreneurship, like that's the balance. My dad's the voice of reason. My mum's a bit more like just go in kind of thing. So I polarize quite a bit between, like, I know I've taken traits from both of them. So I've just had support since the start, basically.
Which is awesome.
Which is great, but like unfortunately, like I'm just doing podcasts.
No, what do you mean unfortunately? This is awesome, man.
I could have been.
This is gonna be another leak. It's like, oh, your son does podcasts.
he talked about me in the podcast.
It's kind of like rapping, but no rhymes. it's just go all in.
Still the same nonsense. I don't know what he's talking about. You know what I mean? That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Well, from podcasts, they probably think, oh, you can be a journalist. You could work in radio.
Golden Goose comes back.
You know, it's just, it is. Work in TFC, you know.
Pretty much,
ABS-CBN. That's the Pinoy broadcaster.
That is what it is. I'd assume it's the same for you, like with happening with the, but it's, I was going to say video, but with music. Let's talk about music. How'd your parents think of that?
They were supportive. Like, it came to a point where, you know, their mentality is if you're happy, you know, then go for it. Because, like, they saw how much joy I get from rapping and making songs, and they actually had the consideration of being quiet through my recordings.
With all of us there, imagine, you know, 5 guys in the living room.
They always joke around and it's like, oh, we like it when you stuff up, because I'd be like, yo, killing a willing, ah! They'd be like,
you can hear that. Yeah. Oh,
you know, they like the whole idea, and you know, they never really what you call it, they never.
That's good.
You know, they never look down on it.
Your family's very supportive in that. I'm not saying mine's not, but it's great that we came from that. I think all of our mates, I guess because we had nothing better to do, so it's like, oh, might as well. You know?
It's better than, you know,
better than just being crime. On the dole and like, yeah, I could have been a dealer, bro. You know,
dealer.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm a
drug
rapper
addict,
instead.
all that stuff. You know, it's better. Just
you know, it's funny.
That.
Like you mentioned, like you could just go in before, because obviously I kept it a secret for so long.
Yeah,
I'd be in my room. I'd just be very cautious, anxious, waiting to see if like someone's coming in the driveway, coming in the door. I'd have moments where I'm just like, the door opens. I'm like,
it's like
hey, what's up?
It's like a dog hearing like a little squeak, and they're just like just looking around.
No, the door's open. It's like, oh, dinner's ready. I'm like, yeah, cool. And the beats just playing in the back. Like, just listen to beats with the microphone in front of me.
And then knowing you'd be probably like a teenager and stuff, you'd be like, get out of my room.
Yeah. It's like, oh, and then after it's like, God, I don't have my privacy. Oh my God. Pretty much, man. Because like, oh man, I can't do anything in this house. I'm gonna move out one day, man. Still haven't moved out. Still here. That's why I got this garage set up, man.
And you have to move to another country to actually move out, you know?
Now I can finally have my freedom, bro. I'm going to be in, like, way far. You know what I mean?
It's just your auntie, because you're moving in your auntie or something.
Yeah, it's like, God!
I'm in another country.
Can't escape. That's different.
Yeah, but with video, my parents were supportive with that. They actually they suggested to go film
into
school.
video.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
once you go
hell
film
yeah.
school, I don't even know because I was doing business studies because like
That
when
makes
you
sense.
when you have no direction, you just do business studies.
Yeah, it's like business. Everything's business.
yeah.
to
They're
an
like, I don't
extent.
know. They're like, I don't know why you're doing this business stuff, and it's like,
Nah,
why don't
definitely.
you just do
You're
film
the
school?
you're
And
the
I'm like,
craze. That's
"Alright,
your
might as well."
forte. That's
Yeah.
your skill. Your craft, man. 100%. I agree. If anything, I should have done business.
Yeah.
I did the reverse. I did engineering, technical, and I realized I'm not the most technical.
I did TAFE audio engineering, and it
Oh,
wasn't
did
for
ya?
me.
That wasn't
I'm
for
like,
you, yeah.
No, there's a lot of buttons and knobs to turn.
It's like I just want to press record,
Press record.
and then like I already know Cool Edit, man. There's the compression
This
button,
is,
the reverb,
Yeah.
the fucking noise gap.
There's a lot more to
There's
it.
a lot more
eh?
to it. There's a lot more to it when it
Yeah.
gets manual. And like look at all this shit. Like this mixer. I didn't know how to put the phantom power on. That's it.
Just push
That's
one
it.
button.
Phantom power. Cool. We're going. Let's go. Let's record. That's it. What can you do? What the fuck is this? Sorry. Anyway, did you have any more feedback questions, or do you want to wrap? Do you want to wrap that one up? or-
We'll wrap that one up. What's the feedback you got? We'll continue Ella's
I
ones
got a
later.
feeling it's all Ella, man. Let me just bring up that page that I had. This one's an interesting one. I'll keep it a bit light. I don't know how to answer this really. Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter versus Tekken. Holy shit, that's a three-way. Would a Star Wars... Oh. Are these like multiple questions? I'm going to read the whole thing.
Okay, go.
I think it's multiple questions though.
Yeah.
So try and remember. You have a good ear for this. Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter versus Tekken? Question mark. And then would a Star Wars fighting go off? I guess fighting game. Were the concepts and themes from your SoundClick plus MySpace songs based on your personal experience? Question mark. I guess that's for me. Raf, having had 2 different weddings, we've already talked about that, I think, with your beautiful wife from a cultural perspective. What are some of the things you learnt undergoing the ceremonies? Actually, you could answer that. The thoughts that go through your mind when chopping videos up to edit. That's a pretty good one. What are the key points to making a solid visual in your opinion? Fuck, this guy went in on the questions, man.
Yeah. Which one shall we answer?
I should have
first?
just asked a
That's
question.
that's
and
the
then-
way I did it. Like he's got a bunch of questions for me.
Oh,
too.
was it? My bad.
So-
I thought it was one question because it was in
This
one
is
thing.
pretty much the LSC feedback episode. So he's just
Yeah,
giving us
alright,
topics
shout
and we're
outs
just
to LSC. You
shout
get a,
outs
you
to
get a,
LSC.
you get a whole episode for you, man. It's like you're still
All right,
here.
what's the first one? The Street Fighter
Mortal
one.
Kombat versus Street Fighter versus Tekken. I guess which one's the best? Or which one you like better?
Okay. I'm a more of a Street Fighter guy. I grew up on Street Fighter. My first game that I ever played on Super Nintendo was Super Street Fighter 2.
Mm-hmm.
It came with the console, and I just played that all the time. And
Street
I'm
Fighter.
so
That's
more
the
of a
main one
Street-
that everyone has, eh?
Yeah.
The classic one with yeah.
That's
I
the
get-
most classic one, I reckon. Because
Okay.
Street Fighter, and then Tekken's the more modern one, where everyone.
So your list
goes.
is Street Fighter,
Street Fighter, Tekken, and then Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. I might have to put Mortal Kombat at the top.
Yeah.
I love Mortal Kombat, bro.
Nice.
It was cool. I think I was just so intrigued by the characters in it because they're all just like
The cool thing about it was the fatalities and
the
everything.
fatalities
Yeah.
and you had Goro. I always jumped between Sub-Zero and Scorpion. I was obsessed with the
Yeah.
two. I don't know which one's my favorite. I like them both. Probably Scorpion a bit more. But anyway, doesn't matter. That's the characters. I'd put Mortal Kombat. Probably Street Fighter as well.
Yeah.
And Tekken last. Tekken's cool, but I wasn't really into it as much. Kind of.
Yeah,
thing.
it's a different type
different
of fighting
era.
game.
And
Yeah.
different era. It was a bit later on when I was not as into games, but I was never really into fighting games as much. So I guess this is not really valid for me. But
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, so Street Fighter. The second part of the question was a Star Wars. Would the Star Wars fighting game go off?
I would that would be my shit.
Yeah?
I love Star Wars. That would be hectic. I don't know how the imbalance would go. If you choose Stormtrooper versus Darth Vader, I think that'll be a very quick match.
Yeah. Well, unless you're a master of at being a stormtrooper,
Or
and then you're versing a novice.
Fantasia or whatever.
You never know.
That silver one. That
Yeah.
silver Stormtrooper.
The cool thing about fighting games is you can pick any character. If you master it,
Yeah.
you have a clear shot of winning, no matter what.
Come on, bro.
But I know
versus
the
Darth Vader.
storyline, but if you
yeah.
master Stormtrooper and the other person is okay, Darth Vader,
Yeah.
you might whoop the
Oh, 100%.
ass.
Yeah. It's like every video game has that. You have those the cheat characters, yeah?
Yeah.
Like in Tekken, who was a cheat character?
It was
The one
Eddie.
that kicks really high. He's like the easiest playable
Oh
character.
yeah.
But he's just combo. But all you have to do is button mash the kicks. I forgot his name, but you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
I
There's
think
Law,
Howrang or something.
and
Law's in... Oh, yeah,
and,
Law as well. He's a
Eddie.
cheat. And the breakdancing
breakdancer
guy,
Eddie, yeah.
he was a cheap character as
Yeah.
hell. Because he was hard to dodge. He's like up, down, up, down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's first character was one of them too.
Yeah, but if you master the hard ones, I don't know, the dude with the little sword, Yoshimitsu, I think.
Yeah.
Like the really difficult ones, you become a gun, you know.
Yeah.
That's
So
my cousin. My cousin Ramon, he's a gamer. He always picks the technical, like the
combo guys.
the
and
combo
stuff.
guys, yeah. Hard.
But yeah, I think a Star Wars game, like
Go
like a fighting game,
Oh, dude,
would
I'd
go
be
off. What style
obsessed.
would it be? Would it be like a style of Tekken, or would it be more so Street Fighter, where it's kind of
2D
like
and cartoony?
2D-ish, not cartoony, but like straight. You know, Tekken you can move around, sidestep,
around,
and all
yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff,
I'm
or maybe
feeling-
even like a Pokemon type of vibe,
I reckon they'd make
or
it
RPG.
RPG, or
I don't think it suits.
I don't think it would suit an RPG. I think like you've already got like Battlefront games that have this whole 3D aspect. I'd actually really like to see just a 2D thing, like Mortal Kombat graphics. Just keep it 2D. I reckon that'd be cool, man.
Yeah, put it as
Simple,
an app on
dude.
the phone. I think that'll be
Keep it
sweet.
simple. Yeah. You know what was another really good one? Actually, this tops it up. This is the top of the list for me. Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct.
That was the
I've
shit.
played one of the games. I think Killer Instinct 3 is one of the
3
that I played.
or Gold, the one on N64.
Yeah, I think that's the one on
Yeah,
the
that's
N64
dope.
one. Yeah.
And the Super
And you
Nintendo.
uppercut them and they go down the bridge and then
Oh,
you go to
bro.
another level.
That was a good fucking game, man. I love that game.
Have you played Clay Fighter?
Never heard of it.
It's like cartoonish type
I
of
think I've heard of it. Is
characters.
that
Like there's a
Nintendo 64?
snowman, there's a bunny, and then
It sounds silly.
it sounds silly, but they're
But it was
fighting
good?
and shit. It was
That was
good
on
for.
Nintendo.
I was like 10 years
I'm
old
pretty sure
when
that
I
was on
played it.
Nintendo.
Yeah, not Nintendo. I think it was N64. I remember it being on N64.
Well, Nintendo was the highlight for me in terms of video games. That's when all the best games came out
Yeah,
for me.
yeah. Nintendo. I was on Nintendo until GameCube. I didn't get the GameCube. I
didn't
went
get
to
the GameCube.
PS2.
There was Dreamcast. Remember that?
Yeah, I didn't even get that.
Yeah,
I stopped at and then I came back when it was Wii because it was
Yeah.
different. You know, you could play tennis.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
bowl
We
and
was
shit.
like you know, you're getting old. You're like
Yeah.
just do things for fun. You know, it's all
But
interactive.
Mario Galaxy was the shit. I
On
enjoyed
Wii?
it.
I don't remember
You
that.
should play that game. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, we're delving really into games right
Yeah.
now. It's cool. It's cheat
Cool.
coders. well,
Um,
my last console was PS3. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna leave it at that.
the last game I
GTA.
properly played was GTA. Yeah, GTA.
Yeah. When we were all playing online and just effing
Killing each
around. Dude, that, like, can I just add one thing? That game got too effing real. As in, like, I was so annoyed because, like, we're starting to, like, make bank. So me, Raf, two of our other mates, Chris and Lukman, we're trying to, like, make money, doing heists, doing these races to get money. I paid bank on this luxury sedan. I did all these upgrades. I tried to make the car look nice, painted it well, put, like, armor on it. I was so happy. I'm like here taking photos of my car. One of my good mates, Chris, comes along, puts a sticky bomb on my car and just blows it up in front of my face. And you know what shit me? This is why I think I possibly stopped playing. I didn't know you had to get insurance in a video game. The shit wasn't insured. I went back to my garage. I'm like, where's my car? It's like, and then you were like, did you insure it? I'm like, are you kidding me? What kind of game is this?
It's life, man.
This is life.
It's life, bro.
I was bankrupt. Everyone had their money, and I'm like, I spent everything.
You
on
had to
this.
go steal a car.
I had to like, I'm not buying anymore. I'm stealing the same car.
Still a little like
Maybe-
family car,
Yeah.
and we got these mad cars that we bought.
Anyway, that's my rant. Stupid ass
that
game
was
got too
such
real,
a fun
bro.
game. We spent like months and
We finally all got an apartment each, and it was like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
over it now. We had like meetups, like, hey, come over to my house in GTA, so we can socialize in this make-up house and smoke weed because there was weed in the house for some reason.
oh man, those were the days. But yeah, I'll move on to the next question. All right, so LC says, have you experienced a form of discrimination via sex, race, or age?
I don't know. Not really.
Well, I'm gonna keep it light. People think that
Don't go light.
I'm gonna keep it light. I'm not gonna go too
Go
deep,
deep,
into
bro.
it. I'll start off light. We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Some people think that I'm Indian. Maybe mainly because I'm married.
Yeah. Yep,
my
we
wife
know this.
is
Yep.
Fijian Indian,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty dark for a Filipino.
And he's got
I
a beard. He's got quite a substantial beard
So
for a
if
Filipino.
you didn't know, I am Filipino,
Mhm.
and people think that I am Indian.
Okay.
At work, I usually get when I used to work in retail. There was a story that not a story, but a situation where someone would call up and be like, "Oh, I'm looking for this particular shoe. I was served there yesterday by this young little Indian guy named Raj."
Right.
First of all, who actually says that shit? I was served by this young little Indian guy
When was
named
this?
Raj.
This was when you were in SDS.
When I was at New Balance.
Oh, New Balance. Okay, that's quite. I was thinking like
quite
back
like
then
quite-
you were still
It
kind
had
of
the beard,
Filipino
yeah,
looking.
yeah.
I think you like morphed. You morphed into the longer you went out with Shivy, you morphed.
And so that's one of the stories. And then another story was at the same place at New Balance. It was Christmas time.
Okay.
And then it was after Christmas, and then it was probably like Boxing Day sales, and then I'll be like, "Oh, how you doing?" to the customers as you do, and then the customer's like, "Merry Christmas," and then she had a slight pause. You guys celebrate that, right? And I'm like,
oh wow.
No, I'm Christian. I'm Catholic.
Yeah.
So I do celebrate that, and the shoes are this way on sale. Just move along.
It's moving along.
It was pretty funny at the time, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty weird. Like, she probably thought I was like, nah, like,
well, that
not,
was
not
like
Christian.
That was that thing you brought up about the when you were on the cruise, when you told me that story about like there's random Caucasian kids. I'm trying to be like,
Yeah.
and they were in the lift, and they're like, "Yo, let's
said
go
the
N-word." Yeah. See,
And
I'm
they
trying to
looked
be
at
like a bit more, politically correct on these podcasts, and they were looking at, and then obviously saw Raf and Shivy. Sorry, I'm telling you a story for you, but they were like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and then you're like, "The hell, I'm Filipino."
The funny thing is, like,
but you just owned it, eh?
I just owned it. I'm like, it doesn't affect me. Like, the N-word doesn't affect us.
It doesn't apply.
It doesn't apply to us.
It doesn't
because
apply to us.
our history is kind of different.
But it's funny how people.
I'd probably be more offended if someone said zipper face, or because that's the Asian
What's that?
stuff. Zipper face is in like lines and
I didn't know. Yeah,
zipper face.
Zipper face.
Or
yeah,
a gook or Charlie or something like that.
Charlie.
Because back in the day in the war, they used to call in Vietnam. They call the enemy, which is the Vietnamese people, Charlie.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Oh, let's get history.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd be more offended about that, but the N-word, I don't get offended at all. I'm just pretty dark.
I just think people need to lighten up. You know the whole race card. Everyone's all like,
That's the wrong terminology.
I can't help it, man. I'm just like the racism just keeps pouring out. I'm not racist.
We're at the age where we can't say anything properly.
You can't say anything properly.
Yeah.
Like people just have to lighten up. Like I just say like when I started my ex job, like ex employer, when I didn't realize how politically incorrect I was. And I think when my previous role, when I was at Para, it was more multicultural, a lot of minority groups. So the jokes were like, they're pretty racist.
Yeah.
In a funny way. And we didn't care because we dissed everyone. But when I went to this new job, I was like, well, maybe I should turn it down because I've realized some of the things I've said are a bit too much. Yeah. And I'm not going to repeat them because probably getting judged right now. But people need to
I think it just depends
lighten up.
I think it depends on the situation. Like some things you can't say, like we'll never say the N-word or like,
yeah.
publicly or whatever.
Just as long as it's not a Dr. Dre song, you think you get a pass if it's a Dr. Dre song.
It's always the emotion behind what you say.
Yeah, if you're actually saying it with the passion of
like with the discriminative and actually with hatred. Well,
then that's different. That's when you give power to the word. But at the end, it's just a word. Like legit, people are like every little thing. It's like an offensive or whatever. I think we just not lighten up, and no pun intended.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what's funny? You just reminded me of something. This only happened recently. Yeah. Remember when we were in that Lukman's... You know where I'm going?
Yeah. All right, you can tell the story. It's funny as hell.
When we were at Lukman's daughter's birthday. It was only a week ago.
I'm gonna put my glasses on for this.
Put it on for the...
Just to add some... Since we got video now.
Yeah. There was another couple that we met. Friends in common. Lovely couple. She was Australian. He was a Filipino dude. I didn't know he was Filipino, but he's Asian anyway. And I'm Filipino.
Yeah, he's Filipino. He's
Filipino. Yeah. And Raf and Shivy, and we're just talking we're just doing small talk, like couples and like adult talk. We're talking about things like we obviously had never met them, so we're just getting to know. So the filters were there, and anyway, I don't know how to say this. I'll just tell the story. Out of nowhere, Raf mentioned something like, "Oh yeah, it's funny because people." Were you talking about the wedding?
No, I was talking about the proposal.
Like I'm lazy, dude.
I was talking to the Filipino guy. I forgot his name. But we were talking about proposals because he proposed to his partner.
Right. Yes, yeah.
And I was talking about how toughest part was talking to the parents and asking for permission.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was really hard to understand because they would go in and out in Hindi. In English.
Yeah.
So it was really nerve-wracking for me because I didn't understand half what they were saying. And then he was "Oh, you don't understand Hindi?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course, because I'm Filipino." And then he was full like,
He's like, what?
"You're Filipino?"
And then he did these. He did
And then
these.
he just take off your glasses.
Oh!
Yeah.
And I'm like, ah! It's because he's standing next to his wife. And he asked me as well. I was like, wait a minute. I'm Filipino too, alright? But yeah, it's just funny how the things go like that, eh?
Yeah, it's just like sometimes it's just, I think it's the beauty of one of the beauty of this country is like it's so multicultural that
Yeah.
you can't assume too much of like
Nah.
you know one person could be something and it's hard to
Yeah.
tell what's what, and
Exactly.
we're just so multicultural that it's everything's just morphed into everything.
It is. One day we're all gonna be beige,
Yeah.
as Russell Peters said. We're all gonna be beige.
But yeah, it's not too deep, so that was good. That was a light conversation about race and discrimination, so
Yeah, we kept it light.
keep it light. All right, so what else?
Okay. I'm just trying to get a good question. Some of these are just ridiculous. It's just our mates mucking around, you know. Do you have anything?
No, we'll go back and forth. So
No, that's pretty much it, man.
is that all your feedback? All right, let me just continue on to Elo's one because he had another one.
Wait. All right, this is from Austin. I don't know if
Okay.
you can make anything more out of this question, but talk about how I've never watched, I guess he's never watched, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and Star Wars. Everyone usually likes to stare at me for not doing so. All right, for one, Star Wars, yeah, I'd stare at you for that. Lord of the Rings, I didn't get into it. Harry
Yeah.
Potter, in and out, but I'm not like obsessed with it.
Out of them three, I've only seen Star Wars.
Yeah, see?
Harry Potter,
You're not
I've only
weird,
seen
bro.
the first one. Actually, Harry Potter's the
Harry Potter's
first.
just a fun, light-hearted thing. I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get into Hogwarts.
It's the first movie I've seen in the actual movies.
Get out.
The first Harry Potter is the first
Oh.
movie I've seen in actual movies, and we watched it
I
because
thought you said first movie ever. I'm like, dude,
Not
you were
ever.
like deprived as a
no,
child.
no, as in like at the cinemas. And
Okay.
it's funny because like the school, it was a school excursion and stuff.
You watched it for school?
Yeah, the school took us
What
out.
kind
It's
of
like
school is this?
I don't know. I don't know.
kind of
They probably,
education is that?
they probably had a partnership with the label or the production company.
Okay.
And then they're full like, oh, we'll take you out because it's probably for English or something.
Yeah.
And then we
Alright.
went to Mount Druitt, the cinemas there, Hoyts.
Okay.
It's a shithole. Even though right now they have the recliner
Hey, plug
seats.
it. What school is this?
Loyola.
Loyola
Senior high school, Mount
Represent.
Druitt.
Mount Druitt,
Yeah,
Mount
so
County.
That's probably the first. Oh, probably when I was in Clare because like Loyola's 11, 12, and
Okay,
Claire's
this is before.
7 to 10.
Harry Potter was so long ago, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
That's
then
nice.
that's the only Harry Potter I've
must
seen.
elaborate
The
on
first
that.
one, and then
The rest.
Lord of the Rings. I don't think I've seen.
Nah,
I've probably
I couldn't
seen
get into
bits
it.
and pieces of it because they're 3 hours each,
Nah,
and it
it's too
feels like
much.
3 hours.
Well, going back, like backtrack to Harry Potter. I don't think I read the first 4 books. Then the movies came out.
Yeah,
So that's just a random key point.
Yeah.
Movies wreck reading. Because I knew movies were out, so I
Might
got
as
the
well.
5th book, but then the movie came out. I was like, oh,
it'll
put
take you a
this back
couple
on the
of
shelf.
days to read a book
Bang,
when
got
it
the
just
movie.
takes 3 hours
3 hours,
to
got
watch
the movie,
it.
got the
Yeah.
main points, done.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, same thing. Well, not same thing, actually. I think I've attempted to watch it multiple times. Like, I've seen the start
Yeah,
so many times, and I can't get past it. Everyone tells me, just get through it, man, it'll be great. And I reckon they're right, but I just can't do it.
it's kind of like Game of
One
Thrones
day,
for me.
yeah. One day we'll get through. Like, I'll get through the first one. I might find it like this is amazing,
Yeah.
and I'll just binge it. But for now, like, I just don't have the urge to watch it, man. It's long. 3 hours.
It's like for
Gotta
me because
invest
like
into it.
people, I say like people are like, oh, have you seen the latest Game of Thrones? And I'll be
Yeah.
like, I've only seen the first 5 episodes of season 1, and then I kind of stop. And they look at
It's
me
hard.
weird.
It's hard to.
They
get
look at
into
me
it.
weird.
I'm
They're
not gonna
like-
lie, Raph. I'm still gonna encourage you. You have to watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It's so good. But like, it's the same thing with Lord of the Rings. The only issue is because Game of Thrones, it's still hyped and still not finished, so people are still into it. There's no more hype about Lord of the Rings. There's nothing there to make me want to watch it and then talk to someone about
Yeah.
it. I think that's the beauty of things like anything like a series or a movie. It's the interaction with people of how they take it.
That's
You watch it
that's
for
the
yourself,
cool thing about
But it brings people.
I think the cool thing about Game of Thrones is like they drop it old school style week after week.
Yes.
Well, because the new craze of binge watching,
Well, it's
watching
Netflix and all that
Netflix.
shit, yeah.
It's like you really can't have that discussion because like have to ask like
Yes.
what episode are you up to? Then you can try
Oh,
and then you
yeah.
kind of forget what episode is
yeah.
what.
Especially Black Mirror. Like, you don't have to watch it in order.
Yeah,
I was gonna be like,
that's
did you
the
watch
cool
this
thing
one?
about Black
Yeah.
Mirror, because each episode is a
Stands
different
alone.
story.
Stand alone by itself. Yeah, it's cool in its own right.
So
in
with
that
Game of
sense as
Thrones,
well.
like you can have that water cooler talk, and then you can
Yeah.
talk about that episode and what your theories of the future
And it's
episodes
such a
are like.
big universe that people like just add onto it, build, and people are still like going back because it's quite an intricate storyline.
Yeah.
People are still studying, deciphering it, and you know what? People have the 2 years till the next episode, next season comes out. How
Yeah.
ridiculous is that? What kind of wait is that?
Making people wait is actually
It's actually very smart.
It's a really good thing. Like
very
I hope
smart.
that they
Everyone loves
don't
it.
completely destroy that format and just do the whole Netflix kind of approach. How
Nah,
they
they
drop
won't.
every
Not
single
forget-
episode.
The last season apparently it's only gonna be like 6 episodes, and it'll be like hour-long episodes
Yeah,
each.
I don't think they're gonna do
bound
it
to
for
be
Game of Thrones,
epic.
but I'm talking about like future
future.
TV series. I hope
I feel like that's
they
the
don't
way
drop
the
it.
world's moving. Everyone's so instant; they just want everything these days, which is sad.
But
And
at
like,
the end of the day, we need that water cooler talk, and like that kind of like
Yeah.
markets the whole TV series in itself.
it's just watering things out. You know what Netflix is becoming? It's like a relationship. It's like commitment. It's like dating. You know, TV shows are like dating now. Because like, you know, when I find a TV show, right? I don't like to start shows anymore. Like, I'll go through Netflix, I'll find a show, and I'll look at the seasons. It's like baggage. 6 seasons. Oh, that's a lot of commitment.
But then again, a TV show that's shown weekly on the actual TV,
Yeah.
that's more of a commitment of a relationship. While Netflix is kind of
Ongoing.
like you can do it whenever you want, kind of like the side chick type of thing. Like
All right.
you can
okay.
go in anytime you want,
Okay, I
start
see,
and
I
finish
see.
anywhere you want.
You're
like-
you're dabbling into it. It's
like, I'm tired-
It's like Tinder, you know. Like
Yeah.
I'll swipe right,
It's
see
like,
what
yeah,
it's
see
like.
what's
It's
there.
like,
Oh,
no,
there's a
let's
new
do
Dave
that.
Chappelle stand-up comedy. Yeah, I'll just peep this, and then I could continue the series that I started like 2 years ago, finish it off. while if you're watching Game of Thrones, you have to be fully committed
yeah, you're
week by
married.
week.
You're
We
married
have
to the
have, we
throne.
have to, yeah. We'll have to have this date every single Wednesday, and for an hour.
You got a
So
good point. All right, I like that analogy, right?
Yeah.
Very good.
Um,
Well, there you have it. We just compared TV shows to dating.
there you go. That's good content. All right, move on to the next question.
I got no more, so it's on you, bro.
So back to Elo. All right. The last one says, lockout laws in Sydney. What's your
Ooh.
thoughts?
Who hasn't talked about that? It's ridiculous. You go first, then.
Oh, well, it really doesn't affect me because I don't go out much. I'm barely out, and like I've never been affected by it. So usually,
You're
I mean,
home by
usually when I
before
do,
midnight.
yeah, I'm usually home by the lockout law.
Got a point.
And when I'm out, I'm usually staying at one spot anyway. I don't do that bar
You know
hopping
what?
thing.
I'll say this. Yeah, it doesn't really affect me anymore either. It's actually nice. The streets are like nicer outside, you know. Just get things over and done with. Like, there's no need to go to the club at midnight or after midnight.
Yeah.
Like, just go early. Who cares? Get your day done. 'Cause I'm getting old, you know. I don't want to stay out too late and drink too much these days.
Yeah.
You know what I feel sorry for? The younger generation. Like, kids my brother's age, maybe younger sisters, like that area. It's like more festival era now, though, right?
Yeah.
And then like the types of clubs they go to, but they'll never experience the club life that we had back in the day. It was just different, man. I loved it. Like the pre-drinks and knowing that you can go to multiple destinations, seeing the city as lively as it was back then. Remember Flow Fridays, V-Bar? It was just that sense of excitement. Sydney had a buzz.
Yeah, it was.
There was a
It
buzz
was really
that
exciting to
that
be
you see
out.
in other cities. Like if you go to I don't know, you go to New York or LA or I don't know. Apparently London has quite more of a buzz. You get there, you just feel that excitement, and it goes through the day. Like Sydney's exciting during the day, of course, but other cities, it's continual. Like obviously, if clubs and bars are open, you got food places still open. Like business keeps going, kind of thing.
All right, this is an ignorant question.
Sure.
You've been to New York.
Yeah.
Is it a city that doesn't sleep?
You know what? It does sleep.
Okay, cool.
It
So
does
it's been
sleep, but there are places that don't sleep. Like some things I love about it is like there'll be
It's been all lies,
takeaway
man.
24 hours.
Next minute, it's probably like it's not even a big apple. It's probably a banana. What is this? I expected it to
Look.
be like 24/7 everything.
All right, we went to Times Square at like 3 a.m. Yeah, the neon lights were still open. There was still a few things, but like it wasn't like packed with people. People sleep, man. People need to sleep.
Yeah, but then there's like a rotation of day people and night people.
Nah, not as much. It's not
Okay,
as
that's all
and
in
that
my
was
head.
that was on a Wednesday night. And yeah, look, I had the same idea in my head.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, we're gonna go to Times Square at like mind you, even at midnight it was still very busy. But I'm talking like 3 a.m. Nah, it dies.
Yeah, I think I think it's more of an analogy of like the business life or like the rush.
Yeah.
It's like
it's a
never
lot more
sleeps, yeah.
awake than like
Yeah.
if you go to Sydney, it's dead by like 8 sometimes.
Even worse if you go
On a
to another
weekday.
like city. I was like, I think it was Melbourne,
Melbourne.
around like 3 a.m. It was
what?
so quiet.
Yeah, but that's Melbourne.
I was like, I thought this was the life of the party.
Nah.
For like, I'm not dissing anyone from Melbourne, but Sydney probably have more life than them.
I look
Even with the lockout laws.
No, I'm
Then again, I
gonna
don't
be
go out
real.
much.
I've decided just to be real. Like, Sydney's just better.
Yeah, I'm
Sydney's
Sydney
better.
for
I'm
life.
just
I went
Sydney
to
for life. Melbourne's great, but Sydney's just
I went
better.
to Melbourne for the Sam Smith concert.
Yeah.
And I went with my wife. It was a present for her. And then we went, and then Sam. I forgot what I was in. I was in Melbourne, and Sam Smith said, "What up, Melbourne? Scream if you represent the city. Like scream for Melbourne." And I'm like, I didn't say anything. I was just standing there. I'm like,
Did everyone
I was
else
looking
scream?
at everyone else screaming because they're Melbourne people.
Oh,
And
you're just
then-
being a hater. I would have screamed.
No. I'll be like, I
This
was
guy's
full
too
repping.
proud.
I was repping Sydney. I was like, me and Shiv were just like
Like,
sitting there.
SYD.
And then
you know,
when
you're giving Sydney a bad name. You know, this just crushes my next point. I was gonna say everyone says that people in Sydney are snobby, like Sydney people. But I'm
Yeah.
finding Melbourne people are becoming that because every time I meet people from Melbourne, I was like, Sydney. It's like, well, who cares? It's like Samsung all over again.
Nah.
I always bring this analogy.
It's always like we were talking about this like ages ago. It's like you're always repping where you're from.
Yeah.
Well, no matter where you go. Like if I go to Melbourne, I'll be repping Sydney. If I go to another country, I'll be repping Australia. If I go to Parramatta, I'll be repping Mount Druitt. If I go to Mount Druitt, I'll be repping Colleton where I'm living now. It's like it's always where you're
barriers.
at, and then it just keeps getting smaller and
Smaller and
smaller.
smaller, like boxes,
In my
yeah.
household, I'm repping myself.
It's like I represent rap. I don't know, man. I get the vibe that there's a bit of a snobbish thing going with Melbourne people. Like it's just developed, and then some people in Melbourne are saying, "Oh, Melbourne's becoming too Sydney." It's like no, it's just Melbourne being Melbourne now. Like
I think that's
like Sydney has become the standard. It's like any sort of hot device. So I'm gonna go back to this whole parallel, like with Apple. Apple doesn't need to prove anything. It's always Samsung doing the bashing on Apple.
Yeah, we mentioned this on the the Marvel versus DC thing.
Yeah, it's always Marvel's
Apple,
the main thing.
DC's
So
Samsung.
DC's just gonna keep it's like because they have something to prove. They have to prove that they're better than this.
better than
And
the
they
benchmark,
end up becoming
the standard.
it. They're becoming it. That's the thing, the standard. Whereas like Apple and Sydney and Marvel just competes with itself.
Yeah, but competition is
Legit.
really good. I think that the best thing about the whole, I think as humans, it's best to be tribal in that sense.
Yeah, of course. No, that's
Like,
what makes things.
Yeah, like
it's
we
what it
represent
is.
who we are. It's kind of like how sports, man.
You need that,
Sports
you need that.
sports go
Competition's
crazy.
great.
Competition, like people will rep certain teams or
Yeah.
where they're from.
Yeah.
It builds a community within the community, and then it just challenges each other. It's
we go
crazy.
about this a lot, even with music, even with like podcasts.
Yeah.
We're encouraging people to make podcasts, so we have someone to like stand off with.
Yeah, and plus at the same time, as a whole, if we battle each other with podcasts, but if we're versing something bigger than podcasts,
Yeah,
we
everyone
represent
unites.
each other as
Yeah.
unites as podcasts. Like if aliens come in try to take over our world, we're gonna be like united as humans.
Yeah,
we're always gonna turn
when
to
there's a
tribe.
greater evil. It doesn't have to be evil, but when there's a greater cause, everyone unites.
Unites,
kind of
yeah.
thing. It's kind of like Cameron and Mace. They're both from Harlem, and they hate each other. But guaranteed, there's still that respect. It's like still my brother, though, right?
Yeah,
It's like-
if
Like when
something's
they were
attacking
commenting each other,
Harlem,
yeah,
they're gonna
like,
unite
alright.
because
and then
they're
suddenly
all
they're like,
Harlem.
and then they're two giant entities that are like, well, oh shit, they're like uniting Harlem. Yeah, Harlem. Guarantee Harlem would stand up, like, yeah, we got Mace and Cameron
yeah, it's just-
against whoever else.
Yeah,
But
man.
I don't know.
It's
That's-
part of
that's
who
a
you are, where
random-
you belong, your atmosphere and everything, your
Exactly.
environment. So it just comes to a point that you just it's a sense of belonging. Like as soon as something is attacking where you belong, you just unite with everyone that has the same mind.
I think I'm gonna have that same mind frame when I move.
Yeah, when you move to London,
I'll be all
you're gonna
like
be
Sydney side.
Australian out. You're gonna be like,
My
"G'day,
accent,
mate."
My accent will
G'day.
come back. Like when my snap's like, I'm from Australia.
Yeah, he had a snap when he was at Thailand.
Yeah,
so like his snap just kept going, and he was talking to someone. He's like, "Oh, where you from?" And then he's like, "I'm from Australia."
It wasn't even useful.
Australia.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it was that bad.
Hey, it was my pickup line. I'm from
Australia.
Australia. You from here? I'm from Australia.
It's funny how when you go to different countries, like when I was in Japan, I was so like I felt
Aussie-niced.
so Australian.
Yeah, you had a sense of pride, dude.
Because
That's
you
what
have to
happens.
rep for your
It's
country.
a pride thing, yeah. It's what it is.
Yeah, so like
It's human nature.
Yeah, like if I'm in another country, I wouldn't try and break any laws or anything, or try anything, because like I feel like I'm repping a whole country. For
Yeah,
some
of
reason, I
course.
feel like I'm repping, like, because when they see me, they notice my accent. They probably see me and be like, "Oh, he's from the Philippines."
Yeah, yeah.
But really, when I talk and I act, it's full Australian.
That's it. You always refer back to your roots.
Yeah.
One day, like in the near future, when we like, I don't know, do the Universe Olympics, we'll be going to Mars. Like, yeah, I'm human.
Yeah, I'm an earthling or
I'm
something.
an earthling, yo.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
rep. It's just gonna keep repping. You're gonna be
That's
repping and uniting with the same people. It's just crazy. So that's a good conversation.
That was pretty good. I enjoyed that one.
Any other feedback?
No, that was all the feedback I got.
Is that legit all that we have?
Well, I may have missed some, but I just can't remember where else I got feedback from. But it's pretty much, it was just, yeah, you know.
Okay.
Well, like I said, do you have any more?
I think we have one more. Let me just double check.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
Okay, I think LOC,
Oh.
who was giving us the rest of our feedback. He had one more, and that is which country or U.S. coast of hip hop music have influenced your life the most, and why?
My life. I won't say my life.
Probably your music. Like, was there a certain type of flow? Was it West Coast?
Well, I got into West
Was it
Coast
skip hop?
first.
Was it
I
grime?
feel like we get into this topic a lot. So I'm going to keep it short. I just got into West Coast. Like, I love Dr. Dre. That was the era we started. That's when West Coast G-Funk was in. Dr. Dre, Snoop, Exhibit. And then, like, that segued me into Eminem, which made me want to rap.
Yeah, and then you just became Eminem, like
Just Eminem
influence throughout
since then.
most of it. Yeah,
And then, like, then I backtracked. So, like, you know, when you're young, you're either Biggie or Pac. Like, which one are you? That was the thing back then. And I was all Pac, Tupac. Like,
Yeah.
I just thought he sounded better. I was like, man, like, you could rap to him. And now that we're older and we appreciate hip hop a lot more, you can see, like, yeah, Pac's style is like delivery, like emotion, raw emotion, storytelling. But his flow's great. But it's quite basic how he raps, you know? 2 bars, just fits to the beat. But
he's saying a lot of shit.
He's saying a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
and it just melds with the beat. Like, it's literally like almost like singing. Like, if you could compare
Yeah.
rapping to singing, it's like he's joint to that beat, and it's just a piece of music, which is great.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so much easier to relate to as just a normal person. If you're just listening, my ears would be like, wow, Tupac sounds amazing. It's the same thing when you show someone a song. This pisses me off when I do that. I show someone my song. It's like, oh, I love it, man. It's a cool beat. I'm like, I didn't even fucking make the beat. I just picked it and I rapped on it. But thanks,
It's
man.
like, yeah, man, I'm really good at picking beats. Huh?
So I'm really good. But what about the raps? You know what I mean? But anyway, like, you get older and then, like,
You appreciate
you
the
appreciate hip
lyrics
hop.
more.
I suddenly started getting
Art
into
form.
the East Coast
Yeah.
movement, and I wasn't into that when I was younger. I did a lot of backtracking because that was 90s golden era hip hop. I was starting into Mobb Deep, early days Jay-Z and Nas, all that stuff. And before, when I was younger, I used to think this shit's offbeat. Like, I actually thought it was offbeat a bit. Like,
Yeah.
oh, what the hell? Too many words.
Yeah.
And now, like, you understand punchlines. You understand, like,
Multi-syllables, yeah.
and the flip, like, it's crazy. Like, I love Jay-Z, Nas, Mobb Deep, Biggie. I end up becoming like being more of a Biggie fan.
Yeah.
After when I liked it, and I don't know. That's it.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think you'd.
Yeah, probably similar.
Same
Like
boat,
I was
same
I was started off with Tupac, and then I appreciated Biggie more as
Later.
I got older.
Yeah.
And then back then when I started getting into hip hop, I started off with Will Smith.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
like that was
Like
playing on
we
the
all
radio,
did.
like
Yeah.
you know,
Will Smith,
as,
anything on radio,
as
that was the thing.
a 10-year-old listening to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
radio. That's my only source of music.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, this
Likewise.
is cool shit,
I think
and I
we all
still
started with
appreciate
Will
that
Smith.
music.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
now.
It's just good. Sounds
then-
good. It's
yeah.
better.
And then I
feels
got
good.
into more of Nelly stuff, so I got into the Midwest type of thing, then Chingy, all that stuff. I like the sound and the melodic
the
type
sound.
of rap
yeah.
tones.
That's where it started, eh? The
Yeah,
sound.
and then after that it is more Chicago based.
Yeah.
Like I like Lupe, Kanye, all that. And then
I think
this
that
is
was the constant battle with us making music as well, because there was always that. Because now we're rappers and we've owned it. It's like proving that technicality. So you were doing multis like, what the hell? For you were like going in on those kind of things.
Yeah, and I was
you
like,
got to
oh,
that point,
now
you were like over intricate. I was like, And it was
It's
so
like, what are you
hard to
saying?
digest, like
Yeah.
for everyone listening to us. And,
And like, to be honest, it was hard to perform.
yeah, dude,
Because you gotta memorize that shit.
Damn, I'm over this, man. Like it was so hard to. I haven't got.
And
bad
he had to be
memory as
my
well.
like hype man and stuff for my verses, and then
Yeah, I'll just be like doing these to Raph.
he'd
Like,
be like, yeah,
yeah. Get him, Raph.
So, you know, it's kind of hard
the
to.
battle,
It's
you
trying
know.
to find that balance between being intricate to being
It became-
digestible.
Being
and,
competition between us, like who had, because like I remember when we'd like play songs. I remember when we'd play each other's songs, the ones that got the most. Oh shit, Raph said that. Or, oh, Elo said that. But then we put them out in the public. No one really cared. They'd care about like I think what my advantage was earlier on is cause I was so basic. Like it was still good, but I was really, because of the Tupac influence, I would just concentrate on how it sound. Sometimes
Yeah.
the words didn't even make sense. It was just there to sound good, and how I'd use my voice, vice versa.
Yeah.
But I reckon it killed it when I was trying too hard to like catch up to you guys lyrically, and I've realized that now I'm not lyrical.
Not that type of
I'm
person,
not
type of
I'm not
rapper.
Johnny. Like there was a stage I was trying to do the punchliney thing that he does. How like, holy shit, how does he write like this? I tried to do it, just sounds corny.
Yeah,
You just gotta
find your own
you
niche.
just find your thing that
Yeah.
you're good at, and that's the struggle I have now. If I
Yeah.
just want to talk about music now, it's like sometimes I'm just like, why am I trying so hard to find lines with all the same word pattern, and it's just I'm not actually saying anything. It's just
trying to make
to-
them all rhyme. It just
all
ends up
rhyme.
being like
And
a,
now I'm
a vomit of like different
vomit,
rhymes.
yeah.
You know, it's just
Now
nothing
I'm just
means
trying
anything.
to like, who cares? Let's just go back to like where at least the last word rhymes, and that's it.
Yeah,
And then just concentrate on actually how it sounds. And it's so hard. It's like so hard to go backwards.
yeah,
It's weird. Anyway,
yeah. Back to basics, man.
back to basics, eh?
Yeah,
Back to the future,
back to the
but to the past.
back to the
Back to the
past.
past.
back to the past.
Maybe that's my third mixtape.
You should when you hit up London, you should just put on not put on, but become Australian to the max. As in like
What's
you're-
that? My raps?
yeah, you're gonna rap skip hop. You're gonna be like the new Illy
yeah. Hey, yo, check it.
360. You could be like, you know, since you're shorter, you could be like 180. You'll be just you know.
180 on the track. yeah.
But like, yeah, sweet. Let's just end that
I
podcast
think
right
that's
there.
good.
That's
I
a
think
good one. eh?
we got a good one here.
Sweet. So what can I find you?
Nats Blazin on Instagram. I'm actually on everything. Just type Nats Blazin, Facebook, Instagram. But Instagram's the main one.
Yep, and you can find me at Mr. Rat Flores. You can find us at the Cheatcoders, and we can finally promote our Mixcloud. So if you're watching this on whatever
Yeah.
medium we're putting this on, we do have the audio version of this podcast
If
and
this
our
becomes
past
video.
episodes in mixcloud.com/thecheatcoders.
We're gonna use this video.
Yeah, we'll use this video. It sounds
Okay,
like
in
we had
that
some
case,
good
then
content.
what's up? I was ignoring you guys because I wasn't sure if we're gonna use the video, but it's me and Raf, and I think we can both agree this was something worthy
Yeah,
for a visual because
because we went through a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Okay, good. Feedback episodes work.
All right, he's the rapper. I'm the videographer.
Thumbs up, comments
And this
below.
has
I always
comments
wanted to do
below.
that. If you have for the next feedback episode, comments below. We don't care who you are. We'll shout you out. Wow, this is cool. I like this. We're YouTubers now.
Yeah, YouTube vloggers and stuff. We're gonna kick it. It's like 2018. I think we missed the boat,
That's what it is.
but it's all good. So
Comments
he's the
below.
rapper. I'm the
Thumbs up.
videographer, and this has been an episode of the Cheatcoders. I always wanted to do
Peace.
this.
And then we're still there.